basically what we're doing here today is we're going to show you how to purify water from a running stream. This is a clean stream, we've walked up and down it, so we know there's nothing, no contaminants or anything laying up here, like a big rat or anything like that. You can see the different colour in there and you can see the different colour here. This is the kit we're working with today. We've got the Stanley cook set and we've got this little Lexida cook set there as well. That all goes flat packed pretty much into nothing. That's titanium, so it stays very, very clean and strong. So basically what you've got here, you've got the Sawyer Mini. Everyone knows this one, it's a common one, it's very, very good. It goes down to 0.1 microns, absolutely hollow inside, fantastic bit of kit. You've got this squeeze bag here, so this is a bladder. So what you do is you tie that onto there, you fill this up with water, you screw this on, pump it through, and that's your cleanliness. You've got the water purification tablets here. This isn't a be all or end all. I mean, it works, you're still going to have solids inside here. So it may be not something you want to do. But what you've got here is, what you're going to do is you're going to filter it through this, take out the solids, take out anything what it can filter, and then anything else you're going to boil the imperfections out. So that's pretty much what you're working with. This is the cook set I've got with it. It all goes inside there. You've got your syringe there, that's to backwash everything out of it. I keep a few bits and pieces like toothbrush and stuff like that just to clean everything out. And the Econia. Got to have the Econia. Right, let's get started here. Swiss Army knife. That's all we can carry in the UK, Swiss Army knife, because it's literally the size. In the UK, if it's a locking knife, you're not allowed to have it. If it's above 3.5 inches, you're not allowed to have it. But this is on the limit. I think anyone can say this isn't to hurt anybody with. It's silly laws as it is anyway. Because the people in the UK, if a young kid's going to go out and stab someone, they're not going to buy one of them. They're not going to buy a big knife. They're going to nick it out of their mum's drawer. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, anything can be made dangerous, can't it? I mean, what are they going to do? You can't run people over. What are they going to do? Ban cars? It doesn't work like that, does it?
You never know these days.
Fire still. I want to show you this as well. This isn't the most expensive fire still, but in my opinion, it's the best one I've found because the size of it is compact. It all fits in. It's got a little compass on the top of it. These are alright, it's not too bad. I wouldn't rely on that 100%. You're better off getting maps and a liquid filled compass, but it does the job. Dry it off there, because obviously it's been snowing here in the UK. Not a lot, this is about the most we get, but it's pretty good for us anyway.
Cold enough.
Cold enough, yeah. So basically what we're going to do is now, we're going to test this out here. We're going to fill up the bladder. We're going to get the big particulates out of it and anything else we can, all the different little pests. What you've got to be careful, see here is farmland. I know this field here hasn't been used for a long time. This will not filter out pesticides. So you need to be very, very cautious where you're getting your water from. Walk down it, make sure there's no bubbly residue or anything like that in it, but we should be okay. So we'll fill up the bladder. As I said, we've walked up and down, we know there's no contaminants in it, that we can see. Nothing's 100%. In an ideal situation, you want to put this inside here, have it going this way, so that way it doesn't take your solids out of it. Can't quite do that here because of the way the water's running, so I'm just going to fill it up. Don't take long to fill it up, does it pretty quick.
Nice flowing on that water as well, isn't it? It's flowing in nicely.
16 ounces, what that would be in metric terms, I don't know. Right, so we take this over here. I'd imagine that's about 600ml, 700ml, I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to be cooking in this set here. This is the Stanley cook set, fantastic, I've had this forever. What we do is I take this fishing with me, so I can get it out when I'm on the bank, make a nice cup of tea with the kit, happy days.
I think everyone needs a little kit like this really, just in case you never know when you're going to need it.
Mate. You can, ain't be funny, you can take this little kit with you anywhere. You could supplement certain things for other things. You could put in your slingshot and stuff like that. Maybe some snares, fishing kit, stuff like that. This would keep you alive in a worst case scenario. That's pretty much what you need, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So
you never know what's going to happen.
You don't in a minute. I mean, look at the way it's all gone the last few years. Last 6 months even. I mean, it's just changing day to day. And I don't think it's such a crazy thing to be a little bit prepared in this day and age.
No, definitely not.
No.
They might want to make you out to be crazy, but at the end of the day, at least you're prepared.
Listen, you're prepared. And the good thing is with this, it's not like you're buying it and you're like, oh no, the world's going to end. You could take this hiking with you. And
exactly.
It's a benefit for that. It's a benefit for everything. You could be on a fishing lake, having a nice day's fishing, can't get no water, you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, filter a bit through, you've got a brew on. That's all we need, isn't it?
Exactly.
Right,
Go
so
camping.
Exactly, man, exactly. This screws onto here. After you've used this a few times, you want to backstreak it. So this is the syringe. Fill this up with nice clean water, go to the opposite end, clean it all through. It's got a tube there as well to do so. Put this through here. Take this cap off. I mean, if we can show them down here, Tom, you can see the colour of that water there. Not the best, cleanest water in the world, but there's been a lot of snow and it's the runoff. So it's a bit dirty. This is the colour it is going to turn into. It's not the quickest procedure in the world, but it is taking out all the solids and all the debris you really don't want to be drinking. You don't have to do this. You could boil it through water. I mean, you could cook it through boiling and it would probably be okay, but you're going to have solids and that's not what you want. You see, this is nice and slow. If it was going too quick, it would be a problem because it means it wouldn't be filtering it out. So it takes a good time. You can get gravity fed bags, but I don't see the need for that. It just makes it a lot bigger. Unless you're somewhere for a few days, there's really no point into it, in my opinion, personally. So we get this pump through here. We don't need loads because we only want a cup of tea each, don't we, Tom?
Yeah. It's a good little demonstration though, and it just show you how it all cleans out.
Exactly, that's exactly what you need to know, because at the end of the day you can buy the kit. If you don't know the knowledge, it's worthless to you. Like they say, all gear, no idea. That's what they say normally, don't they?
Yep.
Right, that'll do us. We'll sort the rest of that out after.
Should we get a cup out of there as well so we can show them the difference?
Yeah, sure. So we'll clean that out afterwards. That's your colour there. As you can see, you've got a little bit of colour into it, but this tin is coloured anyway. But there's no solids. As you can see in there, there's no solids whatsoever. And you can see the different colour in the river there. Right. So what we'll have to do is now, we'll whack that on now. I mean, look, it is snowing, so theoretically you could just take clean snow and cook that down. But in the UK we don't get a lot of snow. This is the most it's been in a long time. And
yeah, exactly.
It really ain't a lot at all. So where's that other thing gone? When you put stuff down, you've got to know where you put it.
What is it you're after?
The lid that we're on top of it. We can edit this anyway, can't we?
Yeah.
Where's the little lid gone? Ah, it's fallen through. That will explain. These are good little kits, these Lexida. I mean, they make a lot of different stuff. They have cheaper ones and the budget ones, but I wouldn't really buy them. I'd buy the better one.
Yeah.
For how much it costs.
Better to have stuff that lasts, isn't it?
Oh,
Especially if you do have to prepare and get away from somewhere.
Oh, 100%, mate, 100%. Right. So what we're going to do is now, because we're doing this here with no gas, no lighter, no nothing like that. We've got our fire still, and now we're going to need to get some wood to do it with. Everything's wet, you don't want nothing off the floor. The general rule of thumb is the higher up, the drier up, because stuff drips off of it. So we'll walk over to something like this. If you can hear this here, this is what you want. Crack, that's what you want. That's how you know you're dry. You don't need a lot for these little debris fires, you just need enough to get it going and sustain it. So you don't want big bits, you want small bits. So we break all this up, just to get this going. See, that's still kind of live, I don't want that. These bits here. I mean, you always want to look after the environment you're in. You don't want to go down chopping live trees. It's not going to burn, you don't need it. You might as well keep it growing. So we put some of this in here. Ideally, you want the smaller stuff and then work up bigger as you go along. But where it's such a small container, you don't really want nothing too big in there anyway. So I'm going to get a couple more bits to dry. What I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you how to make, not so much a feather stick because it's not big enough and it's too small. So we're going to get out the Stanley, the Swiss Army knife, UK legal Swiss Army knife. See, if you're lucky, like you live in America, you can have whatever you want in America. But here we're just not allowed. We haven't got the same freedoms you've got out there, unfortunately. But things change. For stuff in America, what you would be absolutely fine with, just to defend yourself, here that's not, you're not even allowed to think about defending yourself. You just sort of got to go with it. So we're going to make little slits in here, so you're roughing it up a little bit. So you've got a little bit to cook with. And then we're going to get the fire still. See, what some people do is they show you cooking something and they show you setting something alight, but what they don't show you is how long it actually takes to do it. So we're going to take out fire still from here. If I can find it. And it would be quite hard just to put a spark on a fire still and a bit of wood and make it go up. If you ain't going to feather it up, But this is the little advantage you can have. Your ferrocerium rod, what you want to do is you want to put this on here like this, like so, and you want to do a little scraping on top of it. So then you're going to get some onto it. Just scrape a bit off, don't spark it because then you're going to use it. But you just want it on top of it. Right, so in an ideal world you would have silver birch, and there's a lot of it in the UK. And what you do is you just peel that off, you take the sap, and you just sparks up straight away. It's not an ideal world. So basically we're here in a minute. I'm just going to scrape loads of this ferrocerium inside of it. Take that off for a sec. Just build up a nice little pile in there. You don't need to do this. You can do feather sticks, but that's not seeming to work today. And this is all natural, guys. At the end of the day, people show you videos and they like it straight away. It don't work like that. If you don't practice it and you don't get your skills down, you're not going to get there.
It's good that spark on that though, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets going. See, people get confused sometimes because on here you've got like an edged angle on here and you need that to scrape it off. So people get the back of the knife and whoosh, nothing happens. So you need to have that little angle and you've got to scrape a bit off. That outer coating, look, don't really spark as much. This bit here, that sparks loads. Scrape loads of that in there, that's all falling down. Oh, we almost had it then. Right, let's see if we can get a bit faster. See, now if you want to have a look at this over here, this is the sort of stuff you're looking for. Very damp today. If this was actually silver birch, it would be white and a different colour, but the same kind of thing. That would peel off. Inside you've got like a sap. It's actually really good for your birch sap. So we take a few bits of this. Something that's a little bit easier to ignite. I've got a lighter in my pocket, but that wouldn't be fun, would it? It's a lovely day today, February in England. It's quite sunny. It's been freezing the last few days. I mean, I guess you guys in Canada and America, like, this is nothing to you, but for us it's pretty cold.
Yeah, you know. Bloody freezing.
It's not the nicest of times.
It's good to be out though, isn't it?
It's the best thing to do. I mean, health-wise, I mean, this is, I think, a lot of the problem with this corona at the minute. Everyone's staying indoors, everybody's scared, people are wearing masks, breathing in their own carbon monoxide every time they go out. It's put the fear of God into people. And I think if people could get out and about and actually enjoy nature and get to one with it a bit better, it would help a lot of problems. I mean, the mental health in the UK, we've been on lockdown now for pretty much a year, like a lot of the world has been. But it's been no good for anybody. All it's done is literally just keep people indoors and keep them scared. And I don't think that's the way forward myself. I know, Tom, you probably don't think that's the way forward. Yeah, I know you don't think the same as well. But
yeah, I agree, mate. It's no good.
It's just what our government's done to us. Instead of taking desperate actions in the beginning, they would have locked down the borders, let nothing in but other than trade and stock and food, stuff that we need to live on, kept down the flights. I mean, people was flying in straight away. They never stopped anything. They just kept everything moving. It's kind of like they wanted it to happen.
Going for herd immunity.
Well, herd immunity doesn't work, does it? I had it at Christmas. I was okay. I wasn't very ill. I'm not dumbing it down. A lot of people have died from it at the end of the day. I'm not going to say anything like it doesn't exist. It does exist. But for something with such a low mortality rate, I really don't understand why they're stopping the world for it. It doesn't make that much sense to me.
Nah, swine flu had the same rate, didn't it?
Exactly. And when you think like how many people are dying, I mean, 2,000 kids a day die from dehydration and dysentery in different countries, and we're moaning about this.
Yeah.
We're just getting a little dose of what the third world countries get, and people don't like it. Maybe we should see how they live and maybe try and help them a bit more in the future when this is done, because all we seem to do is take from it.
It's definitely a good idea to step back from the modern world and just open your eyes up to what's around you and try and live off the land and
this is a whole new thing. I mean, the way civilization has been, I mean, it's only really been relevant for the last 400 years when you think about it. And humans, nature, our instincts and our bodies are designed to be in this. We're not designed to be sitting indoors or behind cubicles. That's not what we're built for. There's a reason behind it. But why it is, I don't know. Ah, there we go. We've got a little spark.
Oh, nice.
Took a while. But as we say, it's organic. So now you want to eat, you want to feed it, you want to add to it. Because if it runs out, see all that's crackling in there? That's all the ferrocerium that I've scraped on.
It's perfect, that little cage though, isn't it? It's got a lot of air going in there, not too much air.
These are fantastic, these Lexidas. I would not trade it for the world. I mean, obviously I've got this. This is what I would use normally with a gas bottle. And it's very quick and very efficient. Fox, you know, they make the best stuff, fish and stuff in the UK. They're known for it. So ideally, you want to have a nice little pile here. You want smaller twigs and then you want bigger twigs so you can feed it onto it afterwards. It's not very big, so I can't really do too much with it. But you don't need a lot. Yeah. This is the bigger size here. You want everything prepared before you do it, so you're not rushing about like we're doing here. But we're just doing this little demo for you guys so you can sort of see how it works. That's pretty much why we're doing it. Green wood doesn't burn. You don't want no green wood in there. You don't get no heat from it, and all it does is smoke. You want that crack, is what you want to hear. Like I say guys, you only really want to be using stuff that's dead standing. I mean, it's hard to tell now because only thing that's got leaves on it would be evergreens. But you can sort of see what is living and what isn't living. All you want to do is you don't want to take from nature. You only want to take what it's going to be given out. You don't want to be harming it. For when the spring comes, everything's going to come back and then you've just destroyed something that's took a year to grow. Right? To me, I don't think that's good.
Right, I'll get back to us when we've got it all up and going properly.
Right, it went out a second then, so we have to sort of get going. We have to sort of get going with it again. But we seem to be cooking with fire. So you just want to have all your stuff beside it. I haven't really got enough out here, but it's just a demonstration. In an ideal world, what you would be doing is you would get your smalls and your bigger stuff. You would mount all that up together, so you're ready to go when you're doing it. You ain't got to run about like we just did trying to find some better stuff. You just want to do it nice and slow. Don't put too much on it, because you're going to starve the oxygen. The beauty with these Lexida bits here, you've got the vents there and you've got the two side bits here. That lets air movement go through, and you need oxygen to create fire, because if there's no oxygen, it will just go out. So we'll get that cooking, wait till that cooks up a bit, and then we'll get our water on there. Starting to cook the gas. I say guys, if any of you have got any ideas or anything, you just pop them in the comment section down below, so we can see the sort of best way we can do things. Because in the survival and outside sort of community, we're only as good as what we know. And if you don't know anything, a lot of people don't take stuff in. So if you think you know everything, you won't learn anything. So we can take a lot from each other. And that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a community of people, because in the UK, it's not like it is in America. I mean, a lot of people are into this stuff, but we don't have public land. We have public land and parks, but we don't have public land like you do in America, where you can just go out there, go hunting, you can start a fire, you can go camping. That's not allowed here, because we're a small island and there's a lot of people. But I think it's a God-given right, and it should be allowed. Land's so expensive in the UK. I mean, here, we're in a national country park at the minute. I mean, it's a beautiful place. We've been coming over here. How many years we've been coming over here, Tom, fishing?
Years.
Since we were little kids. Maybe not that small, but little kids. But it's beautiful over here. We know it like the back of our hand. And in certain survival situations, you would be okay in somewhere like this, because you've got squirrels, you've got rabbits, there's a massive deer enclosure over there. You've got plenty to eat. You've got fish, not the best fish. You've got pike and perch and stuff like that. But you would be all right. It would keep you alive at the end of the day. I mean, it's not just bushcraft. We do like bushcraft stuff. We are into the survival stuff, and we're into the outdoor stuff. I mean, I just think it's human nature. Why wouldn't you want to be into all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we've even built our own little hut around the corner as well. We've got all stuff ready to...
We used to do all-nighters over here when we was kids.
Yeah.
We used to come over here at 14, 15. I can remember being really little when me and Tom was over here, was fishing all night. It was back. All we heard when we was over here was screaming. It was like, Tom, what's that screaming? We thought someone was getting murdered, but it weren't. We found out after it's foxes. Foxes at night, they scream and it sounds like someone's dying. They're not, it's a fox. So ideally, you're going to want this whole bit of wood section there burning, you're going to want that a little bit lower. But that will happen once it starts burning. The wind's picking up a little bit now, so that should aid us in what we need to do. And if you're really struggling and you can't get it going, I mean look, this is one of the worst sort of conditions. It's not raining, but everything's wet and everything's damp. So what you could really do is you get the ferrocerium, you make a feather stick, and you just put loads of ferrocerium on it. So when you spark it, it's got a little bit of oomph to it. Whack that on top. It's probably a little bit too low there. And again, you're going to want lots of stuff to push into it. You want your pile big next to it. That goes on there. Maybe get the snow off. Use my leg, I ain't got a towel today. This was on the op, we done this, so. Right. And then you want to feed in, if you want to get through this angle here, you want to be feeding in through the front. That's pretty much the only way you're going to be doing it. And you just push them in a little bit more. It doesn't take a lot, just enough to get it going. And you want that on a rolling boil, I'd say for at least 30 seconds a minute personally. I know some people would probably do it a bit longer, but I think that would be okay. It's going to take a little while. You can already see the little bubble starting on there. It's not boiling, but you can tell it's getting hot. So now what we've got to do is we've got to keep this fed. Really nice crackly sticks, that's exactly what you're after.
As you can see how dirty that water is there as well.
Oh,
so that filter's done a good job getting all that dirty colour out of it.
I mean, Sawyer mini filters, in my opinion, it's the best little filter you're going to get. It's so compact, you know it works, it's used around the world. It's ideal, whether you're hiking, whether you're fishing, whether you're camping, whatever you need it for. Or even just a little bag. I mean, in the back of my car, I've got a little bag. We'll do a little video of that tomorrow. Tom's got the exact same thing indoors. You've got a little get-home bag. So if you're stuck anywhere and something happens, if it's an avalanche or a blizzard, all hypothetical situations that may or may not happen, but you've got your bag and you're good to go. You've got this in it, that's your water kit. You put another bottle of water in there. In my one, I've got a pair of wool socks and some thermals and stuff like that. A little bit of food and a decent pair of walking shoes in case you need to travel somewhere. It's not over the top, it's not crazy. All you're doing is you're giving yourself a little edge on what other people haven't got. Not saying that you want to do better than people, but you just want to be prepared. Not in a weird way, not in the world's going to end in a zombie apocalypse way, but just like we were saying earlier, this is such a new civilization, the way we live. We're hunters and gatherers, that's what we're designed to be. And I don't think...
Imagine if your car breaks down and you've got that
exactly,
in your boat.
Yeah. I mean, I keep the little snow shovel in there. Again, this is the most snow you're going to get, so you're probably not going to need it, but prepared, not scared.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally it. Should we just keep that cooking? Don't want to put too much in there, like we said earlier, oxygen. That's already getting warmer. This is going to take a little while, so what we'll do is we'll get back to you in a second. So that's all nice and rolling boiled now. That's sort of starting to slow down a little bit. It's all boiled up. Like I said before, you want to do it for like a minute, as long as your preference is really, but I mean, I'll do it at least a minute personally. So we filtered out all the other stuff, that's sort of come to a call now. In an ideal world, you want to be cooking on embers. With a box this sort of size, it is kind of hard to do so. But as you can see there, that's all burnt straight through. You cook on embers, it doesn't burn you, whatever you're cooking, like your utensils, or if some people use like a single wall stainless steel pot or whatever, you're going to get brown soot come off it from the flame. But if it's an ember, you don't really get that as much. So what we're going to do is now pop in the tea bag. Being in the UK, it's got to be a cup of tea. I like a coffee, but I like a cup of tea as well. Put that through there. Happy days. So now, pretty much sorted. Cook me a cup of tea. All of that is pretty much from nothing. You've got this bag here. That's all you need. That is really all you need when you're out on the trail. I mean, you can, like I say, you can chuck that in your bag. You can chuck that in your car. You're good to go. It's a good little kit. But
and if you want to, you can even just use one of these with a little gas canister.
In an ideal world, that is the perfect situation. You're going to be using that. It's going to be quick. It's going to be done. We paused it a second there while it was boiling. That took 25 minutes. So it's quite a long time. If you're using a little gas stove with it, it's not going to take long, 10, 15 minutes. But it's expendable. Once it's gone, it's gone. This, you can have that set. That's not going to run out. I mean, look at it now. The floor's damp, everything's damp, but we still managed to get it going and make a cup of tea.
How many times can you reuse that bag that you fill the water up with?
Oh, you can use that loads of times.
Oh,
I mean,
can
it's
you?
pretty much until you rupture it. I think it's pretty much it.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. And for the price of it, I mean, they was cheaper. They've got a little bit dearer now. I think they're £35, £40. I mean, dollars, I don't know, that's probably about $50, something like that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to put some decent links in the description below, so you can try and find that from us. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you got something out of it, something you can use for yourself. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Maybe pop a little like on, comment, subscribe. We'd like to know what your thoughts are on it. Maybe see how we can improve, so we can sort of learn something from it as well. But there's going to be a lot more videos coming from us. My name's Mitchell, that's Tom. Yep. Tom, say hello.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I haven't really done much this video, literally behind the camera.
Cameraman today.
But yeah, we're going to get proper setup so we can actually do some videos together.
There's going to be a podcast coming. We can talk on survival stuff. We're going to talk on bushcraft stuff. Basically anything, the topics that we're sort of going to be covering.
Yeah, all about 2021 and what's going on in the world.
I mean, it's a crazy situation here at the minute when you think about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I think if we can get out and we can do sort of stuff like this in nature, get one with it a little bit, it's going to make us feel better inside.
We've got to show everyone else how to survive as well, and just
exactly.
build up
skills.
skills.
I mean, if you were to take a group of people after World War II, 50 people, and say, right, survive, they would know a lot more than anyone now. At the end of the day, all we do is sit there in front of computer screens, TV screens, and stuff like that all day. We don't. Social media is just consuming everything that we're doing.
Some people just sit indoors eating ready meals and bloody watching computers and TV all day. Ain't got a clue.
What we like to do is we like organic stuff. We like to get back to nature. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And we hope you take something from this. And please, like I said, like, comment, subscribe.
Yep, see you soon, guys. Cheers.
Right, so what we want to do is, you always want to leave the environment better than you found it. Because if you're coming somewhere like this is a beautiful forest, it's been here forever. But if you're coming and making big fires, leaving big ash embers everywhere, that's not something you want to be doing. You want to leave it better than you found it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this all away, we're going to make sure there's no burning embers. Doesn't matter today, everything's damp, nothing's going to catch on fire. But at the same time, if this was summertime, you really want to be careful because it doesn't take a lot. One little ember, this will go up. So we cover that over there. In an ideal world, you have a little shovel, cook it over, but here we've got a lot of snow, so we've not really got a lot to worry about. We're going to pack all this stuff away, and basically you're not going to know we've been here. That's how you want to leave it. That's how you pretty much are going to want to leave it.
Right, cheers guys, we're going to pack up now. See you next time.